Hi friends! So this week in reading, you've been learning about expository text. And another name for expository text is informational text. We know that in the word informational text, we can see the word information. Look at that word right there in the middle. So we know that expository text and informational text are like books or passages or articles that are going to give us information about things. And expository texts are always nonfiction. So we're going to get information about nonfiction things, which we know just means that they are real. So we're going to be learning about real topics. Our books and our articles that we're reading are going to be about real things. And those real things give us facts. Facts are true statements that can also be proven. So as we're reading a lot of our stories over these next couple weeks, it's going to be real topics with real facts that we're going to be learning. So today, I'm going to show you a little tool that you can use as you're reading about a new topic. Because what we're going to be practicing over the next couple weeks is gathering facts over a new topic that we're learning about, especially something that's real. So a lot of times we don't know these facts because we're just starting to learn about them. So we're going to be making something called an information web today. And you're going to watch me make one, and then when we're done with this video, you're going to make your own information web. So how you make an information web is you start off with a little circle in the middle, just like that. The topic that you're learning about is going to go in the middle. So when we say the word information web, think of the word web and think of a spider web. So you're going to kind of be building like a web of facts and a web of new topics or new information that you're going to be learning. So what I'm going to be showing you an example of with using an information web is learning about polar bears. We know polar bears are real. We've seen polar bears. We've read about them in books. We've researched them in some of our classes before. So we know polar bears are real animals. So this is going to be an informational text, an informational passage that I'm going to be reading. And as I'm reading about it, I'm going to show you how I'm going to pull out facts and put them on my information web. So right here, my topic is polar bears. So you always write your topic in the middle. And then as I read about polar bears, I'm going to pull out facts and I'm going to put them onto my web. And I'm going to show you what that looks like so you know what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading about polar bears, and the first fact that I hear, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to gather my information on my information web. Okay, it says the polar bear. Polar bears are mammals. Oh, that is a true fact. That is a true statement about polar bears. We know they're mammals because they have fur, they are warm-blooded. So I'm going to write that they're mammals on my information web, and watch how I do that. I just draw like a line going out, kind of like a spider web. And the cool thing about information webs are you don't have to write really long sentences. You're kind of just taking notes with them. So if my first sentence said, polar bears are mammals, I have the word polar bears here. I can just write mammals. That's just one fact that I learned about them. And then I'm going to make another circle like that. So see how it's kind of starting to look like a little bit of a web? Now let's keep going. The next sentence. The polar bear's home is the North Pole. Ooh, that's another fact. It tells me where polar bears live. So I can come down here and put off another part of the web. And remember, just taking little notes. Lives in the North Pole. And connect that to make another circle. See how I'm starting to kind of make it look like a web? Let's find out more facts, more information. They eat seals from the icy water. Ooh, that's a fact. It tells us what polar bears eat. So down here, I can draw another line. Eat seals. And then I'm just going to make another circle for my web. And notice how I'm reading, and as I'm learning a fact, I'm immediately going and writing it down. Because sometimes if we read the whole passage, we might forget really important facts that are in there. So try to do it as you go so you don't miss anything. Okay, we just talked about eating seals. The female polar bear gives birth and takes care of her cubs. Okay, so we could write that down if we wanted to. I'm going to read the next sentence. The polar bear cubs drink their mother's milk. Okay, so that's a good one because we know that a lot of animals give birth to, or we know that all animals give birth to other animals. So a good fact would be that they drink milk. So instead of having to say that they give birth, we already know that. So we can say, draw our line and say, we can say the cubs, because that's what babies are called right here, the polar bear cubs. We can say cubs drink their mother's milk. And I'm going to connect that. Another part of my web. I'm going to keep going. Let's see. Polar bears stay in dens to keep safe and warm. Ooh, dens. That's a really good fact because it's the name of their home. We know they live in the area of the North Pole, but some animals live in caves, some live in burrows, some live underwater. So we know polar bears live in dens. It's a good fact to know the name of their house. I'll keep reading. When the cubs are 2 years old, they leave their mother. So that's a good fact. So we can say cubs leave their mother when they are 2 years old. And then make my last circle. And our last information is polar bears have fun sliding on the ice and snow. So remember when we talked about the difference between facts and opinions? This one isn't so much of a fact because it's telling us that polar bears have fun sliding on the ice and snow. I mean, people don't really know if a polar bear is actually having a really good time sliding down on the ice and snow. That was just a fun little information that they put in there. So I'm not going to put that on my information web. You could put polar bears slide on the ice and snow because that is a fact that they do. We can see them in videos do that. But overall, look at all the facts that I collected from polar bears, from this little passage that I learned about polar bears. So now you're going to go to Mayan and you're going to look at a book called Tornadoes. As you're listening or reading Tornadoes, you're going to make your own information web about tornadoes. So you're going to write the title of the book, Tornadoes, in here. And as you're reading any important fact or any cool fact that stands out, go ahead and put it into your information web. That way you can gather all of your facts in one place.